just after 4, we were talking about Irlene Mokaraka's case at Foodstuffs. The case of David and Goliath, where she's lost her job today because she had a bit of a set-to with the boss and said, please don't bully me, and it went downhill from there, and they went back and said, well, you'd put $200 of gas in the car during your annual leave. And it's a company car and a company petrol card. You're gone. On the spot, gone. Max Whitehead, very, very impressive employment relations expert, has had quite the success over the years, and he joins me now. G'day, Max. How are you? Hello, Max.
This is really good stuff. Hello, can you hear me?
How are you, mate? I've got you loud and clear, Max. I haven't talked to you for a little while. How are you?
Your voice on the airways again.
Yeah, how are you, Max?
The world. I'm pleased to be here.
Yes, I'm pleased you're here too. What do you make of this? You've looked at some of the paperwork and so forth and probably heard her now. What do you make of it?
Well, there's a few things here. I mean, there's a lot to be investigated, and it has to have a close investigation. But there seems to be ambiguity. It wasn't made clear to her. In fact, what I've read about it is that she started on a trial period of having a motor vehicle at her use. Now, there's got two categories, a tool of trade or a pool car. Which one was it? No one's told her. There's been no definitive statement from management what they're both supposed to do, yet they're enforcing it. You know, and why is it taking so long for them to do something?
Because they never had any concern about it to start with. Well,
there's been decisions of the court saying you've got no right to dismiss somebody if you haven't acted on it and known about it for a long time. And so maybe this is something that could be in her favour here. You know, why didn't they give her a clarification? Because, you know, Duncan, there could be maybe, I don't know her intent, but it doesn't seem like there was any intent to defraud anybody. It seems like she came clean most of the time. So if there's no intent to be dishonest or anything, well, why not just clarify it with her and straighten things up and move on?
She has been a leader herself in the company. She has got no formal complaints. There's been no record of complaint about her at all. In fact, she's very much she's a leader, and a strong leader and a strong woman. And so she said to her boss, well, I just feel like you're bullying me. And it went sour from there, Max. And it can do, because sometimes the face can no longer fit in an organisation, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And the boss can come at you. You know, there's another thing here, Duncan, is the vehicle policy that they used here. In one section, it says you're not to use the vehicle for personal use. Well, that's black and white, and that's direct. But then it goes on to say personal use, if you do use it for personal use, you're to pay the petrol. So how's a person supposed to interpret this? Are you getting it for personal use, or is that rule able to be breached? You don't know.
Exactly, it's wishy-washy. And then it says, if you are to have it as a pool car, you're to bring it back at night. It's not to stay at your house. Even if it makes more sense in terms of mileage to stay at the house, it still must come back into the headquarters, which just seems bloody ridiculous. I reckon that this could see a whole rewrite of Foodstuffs' car policy, to be honest.
Well, is she going to challenge this? Because I think she's certainly good grounds to.
What's your advice?
I think it's challengeable. Look, you know, I don't like to see conflict and like to see things resolved, but this certainly needs to be aired and looked at a bit closely, because there seems to be, just looking at it, some issues that could be, I don't know the details here, so there may be explanations for these things, but there's some things that are glaring at me and saying, whoa, maybe was there strong enough grounds to revert to dismissal, particularly if somebody fairly senior as she was? It does seem a little bit knee-jerk. And also, if she's had a falling out with a manager, you can't help but ask the question, was that really the issue?
Yeah, exactly, because they've gone back and dug it up, you see. I received an email this morning from one of her ex-colleagues who has said that one of her ex-team, so one of the lady who emailed me, said one of her team told her yesterday that she'd accidentally used a Foodstuffs corporate card for a personal expense. She just notified someone within the company yesterday, filled in a form, and it got fixed. She couldn't understand how the situation has escalated this far with Irlene. So there actually is a precedent within the company for just putting your hand up. And, they went after her, Max.
Yeah. Well, it does appear that way, particularly treating other people differently. There's a section on the Employment Relations Act which talks about that, and it's about disadvantaging individuals or, treating other people differently or other people, letting other individuals away with things and they're crashing down on somebody else. These things, people do make mistakes, and that's what most humans do. And that's got to be taken into consideration. And the employment law asks employers to do that. And if they can, avoid dismissal unless it's the last resort. Now, I don't know.
Well, she's got no record of... She's got no record, Max, of being at the petrol station every 3 weeks, She did it once. It's not like this woman's a dishonest woman,
Yeah, and that doesn't sound right. That really doesn't sound right.
And the size of the company,
I don't know if they're trying to set an example or something.
I don't know either.
I'd be happy
Mother
to
of
take
six,
this for Duncan.
What's that?
Well, I'd be happy to take this for her, but I mean, she should. I see she's got a union supporting her, so and I do know the individual from that union, so she's in good hands. So hopefully they will actually act on her best interest and act for her. So
I will give her your details anyway, Max.